Greetings, and salutations, beautiful people in the beautiful world. It is me, he is I am him, Zach Latimer, Z-Lat, and welcome back to another segment of Right and Exact. Shots out to a new nation and a shout out to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. You could be doing anything, but you are here, and I appreciate that. Today, what I want to talk about and build on is values, okay? Values, and when you start to learn one's values, you start to learn the connection that they have with the Almighty. And if you are not careful, then you can become deeper entrenched into a fantasy. You can become deeper entrenched into a lie. And these values that one have can be culturally driven. And if you invest into a culture that tells you this is what you should place your values in, then you might be building your connection that you have to a seen and an unseen. You might be building on sand. All right. So a couple of different ways to look at this is, one is if you ever purchased a vehicle, or if you ever purchased, anything from a dealership, and you go and you look at this vehicle and you can see that it has leather seats and it has heated seats and the air conditioning and all of this type of different bells and whistles and a sunroof and the board that steps out when you open the door up. All of these things that add value to the vehicle. Okay. All of these things that when you start to go look at the ticket, it ups the ticket price. Now, the interesting thing about this, though, is as soon as you take this vehicle off the lot, as soon as you drive it off, as soon as you purchase it, you sign the deed, whatever, and you take it off the lot, it now depreciates in value. So therefore, you have to add, then you start to look and say, well, did this ever have value to begin with? or was this just some type of fantasy that you built in because you knew you was going to pull up on them and you was going to stun on them? Was it just feeding your ego? Okay. Now, I'm not saying that one can't have nice things. I'm not saying that one can't have a nice car, but at the same time, some people who see that it's just a vehicle that gets you from point A to point B, and some see it as, okay, this will hold me in higher esteem and higher regard if I have a certain type of vehicle. Okay. But you start to see then that the value starts to connect you from, okay, this means absolutely nothing, to the value that means, this might mean something, but it absolutely means nothing, because as soon as you drive it off the lot, it depreciates in value. Okay, so a lot of times this can be culturally driven and culturally based. So if you're not careful, then you might invest into a culture that tells you what to place your value in. No different than if you have an educator or if you have some type of entertainer or an athlete, okay? And you have one that, if you place high value in an entertainer is there just to entertain you. An entertainer is there to take you off of a path, to take you out of some type of reality and get you into one, to really just become a distraction for you, so that you don't have to deal with the things that you have to deal with. Now, mind you, these entertainers get 100, 200,000 anywhere and up, okay? At whatever, anywhere and up, and have no problem and don't give anything back. Some don't give anything back to the community. Some don't do anything other than just distract you. Whereas you might have an educator or a teacher who you start to see, they take on 32, 34 kids in a classroom, lesson plans, and you can even look back and you might have a teacher that, if it wasn't for this teacher, I wouldn't be where I am today. Or if it wasn't for this spiritual teacher who I talked to and I had a conversation with, and I was about to jump off that ledge, or I was about to take those pills, or I was about to do this, or I was about to do that. And if it wasn't for this teacher, for this educator who helped me get to this place, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. But you see, culturally though, these teachers, if you ever wanted to teaching, you get maybe 28, 29,000, somewhere in between that range starting out. And you can go up from there if they say you get a master's and yada, yada, yada. But you start to see that there's really no value placed on the education that one has. There really is no value placed on that from a seen to an unseen. Whereas only thing that we're going to value is just this entertainment that is going to distract you. But you start to see that, the more that I start to look at it and the more that I start to really break this thing down, that more value goes into this education that I received, or this talk that I had, than this distraction that I'm receiving. But why is one getting way more than the other? And the teacher who is really educating can barely have enough money to even live by themselves. Then you may have invested in a fantasy. When you start to invest in this life, it's culturally based and it's culturally driven. All right. No different than if you have the Three Little Pigs And you had one who built his house out of hay, you had one who built his house in sticks, and you had another one who built his house out of bricks. Now, all of them are connecting to a divine source, divine energy. And then one of them tells you, you know what, I'm going to need to build this house out of bricks. I'm going to need to take my time. I'm going to need to do everything that I need to do because I know that the winds are coming. I know that the storm is coming at some point in time. But this is the connection that I have, so I'm going to take my time to build my house out of the things that are really going to keep it stable. They're really going to keep me sturdy. Whereas you might have two other guys who say, you know what, I'm going to build my house out of hay. I'm going to build it out because I want to go have a good time. I want to go be distracted by other things of this world and not really anchor myself into things that really have high value. Okay, so when you start to see what people have high value in, you start to see the connection that they have in the Almighty. So it goes back to just saying, don't tell me what you value, show me your pocketbook, and then I'll tell you what you value. Where is your time, energy, and efforts going to? Where is your money going to? Are they going to something that is giving you a deeper connection from a seen to an unseen? Is it an anchoring point for you that when the winds come and when that big bad wolf, so to speak, comes and huffs the puffs and blows on your house, or is it going to be standing, or is it going to be blown away like the other two that built their houses out of hay? Really take time and examine and see the things that you have placed high value in. And then you can start to see the deeper connection that you have in the Almighty, in the divine force. And if there's no connection there, then you may need to reevaluate the things that you have placed value in. All right. I will that you've got something out of this. I will that you have a wonderful day. If you want to get deeper into this, you can go into Enlightenment Transformation. And if you want to chop it up with me, you can catch me at Instagram, Zach Latimer, ZACHLATIMER. All right. Until next time, I'm out. Deuces.